I'm back. Okay, hi, I don't remember my intro, so I'm not gonna try, but I have returned after, gosh, over a year. The last video I posted, I believe, was in like September of 2021, so it's been a minute, but I have decided to make my triumphant return. I left because, for so many reasons to be honest, I'm just gonna give you a brief rundown. First of all, reaction videos are so time consuming. When I would do them, I would be reacting to like 2-hour movies, and I have school. This is not my job, like I can't give a ton of time to this. I got school, I do theater, so you know, that's a lot. Editing 2-hour-long reaction videos, having to put in the clips from the movie and align them right with like the clips of me, you know, everything, and just like editing took so much of my time, and having to like watch them all through before I publish them. It was just so much. I don't know, some people got really pressed about some things that I had to say, and I was like, to be honest, it doesn't really matter to me that much. It kind of sucked at first because I was like, why do people care? But I mean, like, it is what it is. Everyone has their own opinion. Anyways, getting into the actual video. Today, we're gonna do a tier list of Marvel Phase 4 because I have missed a lot of the projects because of my very long YouTube hiatus, but I'm here. I've seen pretty much all of them. The only one I haven't seen is Werewolf by Night, which I really do want to watch because I've heard it's really, really good. So I will try to watch that at some point. We're just gonna go. Let's just go, okay? This is based off of my personal opinion, my own experience watching it. You get it. First up, WandaVision. I really liked WandaVision. I thought it was probably one of the best projects of Phase 4. I think it was very necessary for Wanda's arc and kind of exploring her grief and like what she went through and all of that, and like how much she needed to like escape from all of that. I thought that was really interesting. I liked the ending. I've seen a lot of people say that they didn't like it. Personally, I thought it was good, and I liked kind of the build-up and the suspense. It did end in a CGI battle, which all Marvel movies do, so I can't really count off for that, but yeah, I really liked it. I'm gonna say S tier. Next up, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If I'm being so honest, I don't remember much about this show. I remember enjoying it. I remember watching it and being like, this is really good, and I looked forward to it every week. Again, I feel like it was very necessary. I really liked all the themes that they explored. I feel like that was really important. They explored Bucky's trauma, they explored Sam a lot, and I feel like both of those things are like really important to develop, especially moving forward. So, I'm gonna say A tier. Ooh, Loki. I'm gonna have to think long and hard about this one. Just kidding, not really. Okay, so here's the thing about Loki. I was a Loki hater for a very, very long time. I was like, this sucks. I hate this show. I would have to go back and watch it again, but the thing is, plot-wise, yeah, okay, I don't like the plot that much, but visually and like the score, I mean, if you don't already know, I love a good score. It's just visually and like sonically and like musically beautiful. I love Mobius. I think his character is very cool, but the visuals and the score don't really make up for the story. There were so many things that like they said they were gonna deliver on that they really didn't. Like, I know that Loki is gender fluid and they didn't really touch on that besides like the 0.1 second clip in one of the TV spots. So I do wish that they kind of would have touched on that. I think that that could have been really interesting. I also just think the concept of the TVA is just very random. I don't understand how, like, when Wanda did her thing, you know, they didn't show up when like Thanos and everything that happened in Endgame happened, when like Nebula and Gamora came in from like 2012. That wasn't an issue, but all of a sudden, oh God forbid, Loki gets the Tesseract and then goes to the desert, and then they're like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. I know that so many people have said this, I don't like the romance. I don't like that Sylvie and Loki are variants of each other from different timelines. They're both Lokis, but they're literally in love with each other. And then in No Way Home, all of a sudden, the 3 Spider-Men are like, we're like brothers, you know, we're literally like brothers. Like, is that not moderately incestual? A lot of people are like, oh, well, Loki's a narcissist, like he would fall in love with himself. He talks about hating himself so much throughout the series. Like, I don't think that that's realistic at all, especially for the version of him that they kind of developed throughout the series about how he's like, you know, maybe I am a terrible person and whatever, like, dang, I kind of suck. All that to say, I would say, probably C tier. Okay, what I will say about Loki, I went to D23 in September, which I might do like a whole video on like a recap of that because it was super fun. I'll like insert a couple photos if I feel like it. But I did see the trailer for Loki season 2, and honestly, it looks really good. Yeah, I'm excited for season 2. We will see where it goes. Black Widow. I really enjoyed Black Widow. I think they developed Natasha beyond just being this pretty girl who's part of the Avengers. Do you know what I mean? I wish they would have done the movie sooner because I feel like it was like, oh, LOL, sorry, here's your movie. I think it was very important and I'm glad that they did it. I wish it would have been sooner, but honestly, I really enjoyed it. So I would say A tier. Shang-Chi, oh my goodness, I love this movie. I think it is so beautiful. I did a video on this when it first came out a while ago, but I love this movie. I think it's so good. I love the relationship between Shang-Chi and Katie. I think it's so cool to see like a platonic relationship between a man and a woman, because men and women can be friends and they don't have to fall in love. I really liked seeing that. I thought that was really cool. We'll say A tier. We'll say A tier. Okay, what if? I can't get into it. I really did try. I remember I did my reaction videos and I was like, oh, these are good. I didn't really enjoy it, guys. I thought it was a cool concept at first, but I felt like they literally just drew random things from like a hat or something. I did like the Doctor Strange episode. I really did like that. Maybe it's just because it's an animated show. I can't really get into animated shows personally. There's a certain break there. I feel like so much of Marvel is the acting. I feel like that's a really important part, and I feel like this just kind of made it so flat, and I didn't really like it. So let's go on D tier for me. Eternals. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was really pretty. The only thing I will say, why Harry Styles? Personally, I just don't like his casting. The rest of the movie though, I really enjoyed. Like, I loved seeing all the relationships between all the characters. I think that was something that was really interesting. They focused a lot on relationships. I liked Druig and Makari's kind of relationship. I thought that was cool. Thena's really cool. Thena and Gilgamesh, I think is his name. Let me double check that. Yes, I liked their relationship. Overall, I just thought it was a really great concept. I would say B tier? B tier, sure. Okay, Hawkeye. I did like the story. I liked all the representation. I liked how they portrayed hearing loss. I thought that was really cool, and like really putting the character through, putting the viewer through what the characters were going through. I thought that was really cool. But also, it's just Christmas time. It's a good, jolly, fun Christmas show. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I would say B tier. Solid. Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. I have not seen anyone say anything bad about this movie. I really don't have anything bad to say. I think it was great, and I think that was fan service done right. Just all the hype leading up to it, it was just such like a good experience. And like Christmas 2021 and No Way Home go like this for me. Like, they're not, I feel like one of them can't exist without the other, and I cried so much, so many times. I remember the first time I saw it, I thought I wasn't gonna cry, and then like the last scene with him like walking in the snow during Christmas time, and like the soundtrack, again, Michael Giacchino is a genius, and I love composers. I just have so much respect for what they do. Anyways, I just thought everything about the movie was so beautiful and well done. S tier for me, so good. Moon Knight. I love talking about this show. I love this show so much. I remember every Wednesday, me and my friends would walk home and we would watch every episode. I looked forward to it all the time, and it was super fun. I feel like the dialogue was a little bit cheesy at times. Aside from that, maybe the green screen was a little iffy sometimes, but I really enjoyed it. And maybe I'm biased because I love Oscar Isaac. He's one of my favorite actors. I think DID is something that's very hard to portray, and the fact that he did it so well is crazy. And I remember in the assembled episode for Moon Knight, he was talking about his process and how he would just slip into character sometimes even when he wasn't on set. And I just think that's really cool how much he connected with the character, specifically of Steven. May Calamawy did a fantastic job as Layla, and I loved how they really used that, because I feel like so often love interests are just thrown into things casually and they don't really serve a purpose. But I feel like in this case her role was so important, especially to Steven and Mark's characters, because it was oh, I have a wife? Dang, I have a wife. That's crazy. I think it was really cool how they came to terms with that, and how her relationship with both of them, I think, was really cool to explore. And I loved it so much. Ethan Hawke was really good too. I hated him, and I think that's what they were going for. I hated his character. I love Ethan Hawke, but I hated his character, and I think that's what they were going for. So in terms of enjoyment, I love this show, so I would put it in S tier. Multiverse of Madness. Here's the thing about Multiverse of Madness. First of all, I got so sick from that movie-going experience. Literally, the night that I got home, I was fighting for my life. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's a classical conditioning situation where I can't think about that without thinking about the misery that I went through afterwards. Anyways, it had a lot of potential. but then it just turned out to be filler. Does that make sense? Like, you know, with Danny Elfman and Sam Raimi, like, I feel like it could have been so much better, and it wasn't. And the title is so like grand. It's like Multiverse of Madness. Oh my, I feel like it didn't live up to the title, and I was really excited for it because I was like, oh, we're getting answers. Why is everyone breaking the fourth wall? Why is all this multiverse stuff happening? Like, are we gonna finally connect it? And I thought that's what this movie was gonna be. And I wish that it would have focused more on Doctor Strange. If it was supposed to be a movie about Wanda, they could have just said that. It was just genuinely not a movie that I enjoyed or that I would want to watch again. I'm going to put it in D tier, and that's all I'll say about that. Miss Marvel. Iman Vellani, I was very impressed. I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was such a cool story. I loved how they explored different cultures. I think that was really interesting for me, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I would say A tier, B tier, A tier. It is very difficult for me to rank things, I'm not gonna lie. Thor: Love and Thunder. Maybe this is a personal thing, but it just didn't impact me that much. When Jane died, I was like, that sucks. They didn't do a good job about making me care. Does that make sense? But Christian Bale, he was amazing, but I feel like it was a romance, and I laughed maybe once, and I feel like afterwards I was like, that was really fun, because it was like upbeat, and it was like, oh, like 80s, oh, crazy and bright colors and all that. Like, it was fun. It's a fun looking movie. I wish they would have like talked about Valkyrie more, because I know that they were gonna be like, oh, like Valkyrie's gonna like explore all this stuff, and they didn't really follow through on that. I feel like it was so like chaotic that I felt like it distracted from the story at times and kind of impacted my enjoyment of it. So I would say, would I watch it again? No. Yeah, I would say D tier. Okay, She-Hulk. I tried to defend this while it was airing, but then I got to the point where it was over and I was like, okay, why? I feel like they really tried to be like, oh, women empowerment, and they overcompensated. Here's the thing about the portrayal of women in media. The difference between She-Hulk and something like Black Widow or WandaVision is that they didn't make her character entirely about being a woman. Or no, in She-Hulk they did do that. In the other shows with like women as main characters, like they didn't make it about that. They made it about their genuine character development. I do appreciate that they made her look like a She-Hulk instead of just a regular Hulk, because I think it's important that femininity is not used as a weakness, and in trying to portray women, they don't try to mimic men, because women are not men. They can be women and still be like good characters and like strong and stuff. And I feel like that's a really important line to draw, so I do appreciate that they did that. I don't know, there were just times where I was like, this is kind of corny. And again, I just felt like the whole purpose was like, guys, we support women and we will give you this whole show. And I was like, that's cool. Why? So Werewolf by Night, again, I have not seen. I will watch it one day. Today is not that day, but I will watch it. Okay, Wakanda Forever, I really liked it. I've seen it twice now. They explored that grief of like, you know, losing a loved one, and they really went through the whole grieving process. That was really interesting to see. Just in general, like, it was so well done. I feel like Namor was such a good villain. Although, I'm not gonna lie, guys, sometimes when he would fly around with the little wings on his feet, I had to refrain from laughing. It was just the wings on his ankles. Like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't take it seriously at times. Other than that, like, it was so cool. Again, the soundtrack, it was just a good movie. Like, even if it wasn't a Marvel movie, yeah, so that's, I would say, probably S tier or A tier. I don't know. Let me move some things around and I'll give you my final ranking in a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, I've moved a couple things around and I feel like I'm pretty confident that this is where I'm at. I'm very indecisive, so this is very subject to change. But for now, I feel pretty good about this. Thanks for watching, I guess. Moving forward, I probably won't post as often, and they probably won't be as many reaction videos, although I will still post some. I'm planning on rewatching The Mandalorian on this channel before season 3 comes out. I don't know, I've got a couple other video ideas, so stay tuned. Okay, all right, bye.